This is a video introduction of our Federal Mini Economy Series local interface. I'm going to be showing you some of the new features on this particular DVR. To start, you can see this is a 16 channel. I have 8 cameras connected to it and recording. This is the basic layout, and if you right click with the mouse, you will have different layout views that you can pick all the way through 16. Okay, now on this side, you can see on the right side the snapshot window. And in this window, you can see all of the snapshots that the camera will take every time that it captures a face. This particular DVR has a facial capture, and it's only on channel 1, and it takes a snapshot of the person that is approaching to the camera. If it's close enough, it will take a snapshot and it will display it here for easy access. The basic settings or features that this particular DVR has are similar to previous versions. The only thing is this new interface is blue. We call it the 3.2 version. If you right click, you will have a set of menus, and then you can left click to get inside those menus. Let's log into it, to the DVR. And now it has broken down in 3 sections. You have the operations section, the info section, and you have the settings section. Now, as you can see here, you can see the face search. This is a new feature that only this DVR has, and is only on channel 1. Let's start with the search interface. It's pretty similar to previous interfaces before. You can pick the day that you wanted to play back. You pick a particular time, and the DVR will start playing back those files. You can basically double click on it to go full screen. You can take a snapshot if you need to. You can do a smart search. A smart search is only on one view window, and what it does is you select an area and you can detect if there was motion in that particular area. Let's try that really quick. Let's choose this time, and let's choose smart search. And if we wanted to detect something that happened in this area, we select it and we click smart search, and that's it. That's one of the videos that it was taken based on that area. There you go, something crossed that little section that I selected, etc. It's very simple. And then you right click and you can exit. Also, we can go to the face search. I have previously made some samples that the camera took, so I can just click, for example, this one, this good looking guy here. I can double click, and it basically takes me to the video that took that snapshot, and can easily see what occurred. Very simple, just double click on any of these snapshots and it basically takes you to that video. You can back up files to a USB if you wanted to, just as before. This you can shut down and log out or reboot the unit. Under info, you can see information about the system, for example, the hard drives, the recording, the bits per second, the version of the firmware. You can see any events that the DVR has recorded, the network events, if you know how much speed is using on the network. You can do some tests on devices on the network. If you have an IP address, you can just basically type it in and hit test, and if something is there on the network, it will reply back. If it's not, it will not. You can go to logs. You can see all kinds of logs. For example, you can search, you can double click on it. You can see with detail every log that the DVR has recorded. Like you see here, that now everything is on tab, so pretty much I already covered the entire info section by just clicking any of these options, and then I navigate throughout the tabs. It's very simple to use. Now it's simplified on one window. Let's go to settings, let's go to camera. In here you can set up how the camera color settings is going to be displaying at a certain period. You have a 24-hour period, and then you can set certain things like brightness and sharpness and contrast, etc. at one period. Then in the second period you can have it to lower those settings as well. You can set up here the recording, how the cameras are going to be recording. This DVR supports 960H resolution, which is 30% higher than D1. It can record at 30 frames per second on all of the channels. Also, you can enable audio if you have a microphone connected. You can go to camera name, and you can name how the channels are going to be labeled. Let's jump to network. Here's the same type of configurations you can do on this section like previous interfaces. You can have, change your IP address, your gateway, subnet mask, etc. You can enable the amount of connections that the DVR is going to allow on the network, change the ports. Very easy. You can configure DDNS, TechPro DDNS. We have our own TechPro DDNS. You can configure it here by typing techproddns.com as the server IP. You can enable FTP. You can enable mail notification if you wanted to receive a snapshot, for example. Very easy to use, extremely easy and very user-friendly. Now, here you can see this is a new feature that we added to our DVRs with the 3.2 version that allows you to add the DVR to the app of your phone, the TechPro SS app, and then automatically will do a point-to-point connection. So you will not have to open any ports on your router. As long as you have UPnP enabled on your firewall or router, it should work. And obviously the DVR has to be connected on the network. That's why it shows offline. I'm going to disable it, apply, and save. You can go to now event. Now here is where you configure the motion events, how sensitive the camera is going to be, the regions. If you wanted to region out certain areas of your cameras, you can do that as well. You can have 4 type of regions that you can set. You can have one to be a higher region, the other section to be a lower region, for example. You can configure snapshots, buzzer when the camera detects motion. You can configure many things in here, as well as other things of detections. Face detect, you can see here, is only for channel 1. It just basically is enabled by default. You can configure the filter, the maximum size and the minimum size that the camera would recognize a facial and then do a capture of it. A normality, you can see all of the events. You can set up, to show you a message when the hard drive, when there's no hard drive on the network or on the unit. The network is when the unit is disconnected from the network, it will show you a message, do a buzzer. I mean, there's many things that you can configure in here. Under storage, you can configure your schedule. You can enable snapshot schedule as well. HDD manage, you can manage your hard drives. You can format them. You can set it to read only or write only. You can also, this particular unit only shows one drive, and that's only what is supported on this unit, only one hard drive in it. Here you can turn on and off some of the channels that are going to be recording. Because I have 8 cameras, I just turn on 8 cameras, and they're being recorded based on the schedule that I configured. If I turn on the remaining cameras with the remaining channels, those channels are going to be recorded, but there's no cameras in there. Also, you can record the substream, and you can record some snapshots if you have configured them. HD detect, here you can run a quick detection of the hard drive to see the status of it. Everything is good. You can see the detect report. Lastly, on system, you can configure general settings of the DVR, like the time, what the hard drive is going to do when it fills up. You can turn on navigation bar, the startup wizard, etc. You can set up the time, NTP, DST, holidays if you wanted to configure them in there. The display that is connected to the DVR itself, it goes all the way to 1080p over HDMI. TV adjustment, if you have a video matrix or a video output, a BNC video output, you can configure in there. Torrent, if you have a matrix. Zero channel is allows you to see on one channel all of the channels. So on one little window, you will be able to see all of the windows in here. And this is the resolution that they're going to be displaying on that. Right now is off. Here, oops, go back. PTZ, you can configure the PTZs connected to the DVR. I have one on channel 2. You can see here what I have. Under accounts, you can manage your accounts, add, delete, change passwords. Auto maintain is for you to have the DVR reboot on a particular schedule if you want it. You can import and export the configurations and settings of your DVR to a flash drive. You can default the entire unit, or you can upgrade it if you have a USB connected to it with proper firmware. Lastly, let's see some of the features that you can see in some of the channels. Right here, for example, you can play back real time up to 5 minutes. Right now, it's configurable, so by default it's 5 minutes. Also, you can zoom in if you wanted to. You can click on it and then you can drag and you can zoom in there. And then you can move the picture. All right, right click to go out. Here is for you to back up, but right now there's no USB connected. Take a snapshot. And if you have audio, you can turn on the audio right there and listen to audio. All right, so this has been introduction of the local interface of our Federal Mini Series DVR. And to finish, I'm going to show you the PTZ, how you can manage and move the PTZs from here. Very simple. Because I'm using the DHSD1 protocol, I can just hit sit and I can draw a box right there and the camera will zoom into it. If I draw a box backwards, it will zoom out. I can zoom in and scroll in with the scroll of the mouse. I can also do PTZ trace. While I'm holding the mouse, I can move the mouse to whatever position I want and the camera will follow that. Pretty cool. That has been a feature on our DVRs, you know, since the first local interface. You can zoom in, zoom out. Very easy to use. This has been the introduction of our local interface of our Federal Mini Economy, and this is the version 3.2 Blue interface, and I hope you like it.